guys, it's Horsey Steph, and today I am back with another Horse Trainer Reacts to Heartland, Season 1, Episode 5. So far in this episode, we've seen Lou try to create a commercial for Heartland, and Amy work with this wild horse of some unknown origin that Scott brought over, using the join-up technique on him and basically, calling him stubborn and difficult because he's so panicky he can't even focus on what she's asking him to do. If you guys could go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, that would help me out a ton. And let's go ahead and jump on in and see how this episode continues.
I don't know. Ty?
She really misses Ty. And it's really too bad she can't talk to him and, apologize for her role in pushing him away. I mean, let's have a little maturity and take a little bit of responsibility for our actions if we actually want to see him again and talk to him again.
I tried to go see him the other day. Up at Big River Ranch, but I totally wussed out.
I think her dad would also be an excellent person to connect with, but I don't know that just going to go see him is a great idea. Personally, I would, meet him out for lunch with Lou or something. It seems a lot less scary. I can see why it could be a little bit hard to just show up at her dad's place of work and, be like, hey, do you want to hang out, even though I haven't talked to you in 10 years or something crazy. Lou already has a relationship with him, so it just seems like way better if she meets up with Lou and, meets up in some safe environment where there's other things to do other than just be confronted with your dad. Going to lunch is, such an easier way of meeting somebody and talking to somebody. I had actually totally forgotten about the whole dad thing. That was a big deal in the last episode, and just, like I said, I completely forgot about that until just now when Amy mentioned it. So I do hope that happens in this episode. I was really hoping she'd start to have a relationship with him. We'll see what Jack has to say about all this.
Dad is one story, but Ty, he's another.
I'm glad that Jack isn't going to stand in Amy's way of connecting with her dad. Again, it was never his place. I mean, it was his place at one point, but it's definitely not his place anymore. She's grown up enough. But it also seems like the grandpa is taking her issues with Ty into his hands, since she has now driven him to Briar Ridge, I assume, to talk with Ty, which is great because they really need to talk, and I think Jack knows that for both of their sakes. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous, honestly.
Oh, one of my errands.
That's why he wanted Amy to come, because he had all these errands to run, and one of them was to drop off Ty's paperwork. I had forgotten about that. And he thought it was a convenient opportunity of getting Amy and Ty together, so hopefully they could talk. Smart. He's quite smart and a little conniving.
The flies don't help. This is all your fault.
My fault.
So we were both fatally attracted to fame like moths to a flame.
Mallory is sometimes so much smarter than I give her credit for. It's so true. Both of them are the ones that encouraged Lou on the commercial once they realized they would be on TV all the time. And now they're stuck doing all the work to get the barn ready, and they're not appreciating it. And it's not shocking because they're both people that don't really like working that hard. Which tends to be the people that are like, oh my god, I could be famous, this is awesome. The people that really put their head down and get their work done are much less likely to want to be famous.
Oh, don't worry about the manure pile. We're moving it. Believe me, I've had rabid ex-mother-in-laws to deal with. I can shoot around it.
Yeah, I mean, shooting around a manure pile is really not that hard. Unless you're intent on showing that exact portion of the barn, any good filmographer and director will be able to avoid some unsightly thing and, make everything look really good. You look at how movies are filmed. They're filmed in you know, locations that are really quite hideous, and they have like one nice shot, and they really have to keep the camera at this angle because this is the only place that looks good. The rest is like chaos. You know, shooting around stuff is something every videographer does. You're gonna shoot around things all the time. A manure pile might be a little bit less attractive than some things you want to avoid, but you're still avoiding ugly shots. I mean, that's really your job, is to get good shots and avoid ugly ones.
I told you to move it, so move it.
I think Lou just wants it moved because she doesn't want to have to look at it anymore, honestly. I think this is little to do with the commercial, and the commercial is just an excuse to get people to move it for her.
It's my experience that the longer you put something off, the harder it is to get to.
That's absolutely true. If she wants to talk to Ty, she should talk to Ty. The longer she sits around, doesn't talk to him, the more awkward it is, the harder it's going to be to talk to him, and the more this is all just going to continue to brew, which is no good. But I love how he's set up this opportunity for her to talk to Ty without actually making it happen. He's just put the two of them in the same place and left her to make her own decision of whether she's actually going to talk to him or not. Looks like Ty's going to take the first step, which is great, and not shocking because he's a little less immature than she is.
How are things at Heartland?
They're great. Yeah, Ben's working out really well.
Ben is not working out really well. That's a complete lie. Ben gets almost nothing done and irritates them still. So don't lie just to make it seem like you're happy he's gone. It's passive aggressive, and also you've been complaining about how he left this whole time. So you should try to at least portray the truth that you're sad he's left, not make it sound like, oh, it's great he left. Didn't need you anyway.
Hi, Amy. How's the video coming?
Oh my god, she's so possessive of him. Like, literally just stood in front of him like, oh, you can't talk to her because you're mine now. Awful. So bad.
Good luck with it.
It is true. I mean, they are absolutely just copying Briar Ridge, so Ashley's right in that sense.
Staff is the most important part of Briar Ridge. Impeccable resumes, totally bondable. Jack, hi.
I don't mean to interrupt anything.
Oh, not at
Alright, so Val is meeting with a client and just said that her staff has impeccable resumes, everything is great, because obviously the people that work there are really part of the selling, right? If you have somebody that's dishonest or something, you're working with extremely expensive horses, equipment, etc. It's not going to go over well, not at all.
This is Laura McBradden of Cantor and Gallup magazine. Jack Bartlett.
Oh, it's not a client, it's a magazine. That's even worse, because Jack came to talk about Ty's paperwork for his parole. Hopefully, magazine doesn't write about that.
I've got some papers for you to sign, but I could come back.
No, nonsense, don't.
I mean, I'm happy that Jack tried to be discreet about it, and he absolutely should come back later, because in front of this magazine person is not the place to deal with Ty's parole. But, you know, Val wants to seem like an open book, so she's like, yeah, I'll just do it now, and I think she probably doesn't know what he's bringing over. Probably hasn't occurred to her yet that it's the parole papers.
Papers that say you're willing to sponsor Ty Borden. His probation.
Oh, okay. So I don't even think that Val knew about this. I think that Ashley might have just not mentioned it to her, which is a real problem because I don't think Val's going to be cool with it at all. She seems pretty upset about the concept. And now she's in a sticky situation because there's a magazine person there after she just said that everyone has a perfect resume and no record and anything like that. So that's cool. Ashley clearly never told her because now she's confronting Ty about it, even though Ty had asked Ashley, is it going to be cool that I have a record? And Ashley said, of course it is, because, you know, she figured her mom would just never find out, I guess.
Well, you said you told her.
Jack, do you know the position he's put me in? that I have a criminal under my roof with access to some of the most expensive horses in the entire world.
I mean, this is absolutely not Ty's fault. Again, it's absolutely Ashley's. Ashley assured him it would be just fine. And, you know, Ty never talked to Val before getting the job. It was all dealt through Ashley, who, you know, just basically created the situation she wanted. So that really does suck.
They read about that.
I do get why Val's so upset, though. If she has a policy against hiring felons, and to have that in front of a reporter is just especially awful.
I'm gone.
One of my trainers will see you off the property, and he'll want to check your suitcase before you leave.
Oh my god, they're treating him like an actual criminal. That's awful. I mean, again, I was surprised she hired a criminal in the first place because she's absolutely the kind of person that would discriminate against them. Ty has changed. She's a better person now, and I don't think he would ever steal anything. I would trust him completely. I'm not surprised she doesn't, but I am surprised she's making such a big stink about it. Like, they're going to pat him down to make sure he didn't steal anything on his way out. That's a lot. I feel really bad for him. He doesn't deserve to be treated like this. I'm not sure what he went to jail for in the first place. I think it was stealing cars, and that's nothing I've watched in this. I just feel like I heard that from somebody at some point. But I'm sure it had to do with he needed money to survive. He's not a criminal at heart. I think he was just in a really bad situation and he needed money really bad, and that was the only way he could get it. I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but I do think that the person we're seeing now is not a criminal, even if he did, you know, do something illegal in the past.
What are you two grinning at?
Nothing.
They moved the manure pile, I'm pretty sure, to somewhere really in Lou's way, but out of the shot, just to spite her. I'm exactly confident that's what happened. Right outside her bedroom window. That's brilliant. Because again, nowhere near the shot. They moved it. But right in the way for her. And I'm thinking this manure pile is like a daily pile, not like the pile that they have collected over time, because it is very small. That part I'm a little confused about, but this is just hilarious. I mean, obviously they're gonna have to move it again though, which sucks. So they did create more work for themselves, but I'm sure it was absolutely worth it just to see her face, considering she was insisting they move the pile.
Back, we're rolling.
Okay.
It looks like Jack is actually gonna do it. That's exciting. He's really nervous and he has no idea what to say. I mean, I can't blame him. I would be the same way. Like, it's so hard to talk on camera when you're not used to it, especially for like a director that's gonna take that footage and do whatever they want with it. It's easier for like somebody like me filming myself, because if the footage is stupid and I'm like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing, I can just delete it. No one will ever see it. I would probably have trouble talking in front of like somebody else and like for a big commercial and whatnot. That seems like a lot. I'd have to kind of like get myself ready for that.
Welcome to Heartland, a 600-acre ranch that's...
Now he's got his mojo on. He just needed a minute to like, oh my god, I don't like this idea, but I'm gonna buckle down and do it. And I like that about Jack, you know, he can buckle down and get what needs to get done, even though it's totally not his thing. It's an awfully long little bit to have the beginning of a commercial. I mean, this is gonna be a long commercial, not like a quick 30-second commercial, if they're gonna show anything more than that. Or maybe they're gonna keep his voice going while they show other shots. That's also a possibility. Just start out with him and then switch to other footage.
Can we go again?
I thought it was pretty good.
No, he slurred a bit on the word generations.
Oh my goodness. Lou is gonna ask for a million takes, and that's gonna piss Jack off, and he's gonna walk out. At least they got the one take, because I don't know how many more he's gonna do, and I bet they're gonna get worse until he absolutely quits.
You okay, Scott?
I don't know. I guess so. Bit of therapies and herbs.
Scott is exceptionally bad at this, and I also don't know why they're having so much people talking. I would think they'd want to show some horses being worked with, show the property a little bit, not just have people give like information, verbal information, because that doesn't make a good commercial. That's like an infomercial, which is long. I don't think that they're gonna air after the news, and you know, nobody actually watches them or listens to them either.
Look, I'm terrible at this.
No, you're not.
No, he is terrible at this.
I suck.
Scott, you have to.
No, he is terrible at this. He absolutely hates it, and it's really too bad she's making him do it, because I don't think he's gonna do it well. Maybe give him some alcohol or something. Good for him for standing up for himself. If he doesn't want to do it, he shouldn't have to do it. I don't really think it's that critical to the commercial, honestly. I don't understand the point of his bit in the first place. Alright, it looks like they are starting to make some progress with this horse. She's finally taking a little more time and being a little gentler, which makes a huge difference.
This is perfect. Look at this.
No camera, it'll spook him.
I think there is absolutely no reason for them to have opened the gate to film. They could have filmed through the bars, and I don't think the camera's gonna spook him. I think it's gonna spook Amy. But again, they could have filmed through the cracks in the round pen, just stuck the camera through, and that would have been much better. To actually like come in and leave the gate open, I mean, there's a reason she's working in the round pen with the gate closed, so I would respect that and keep that.
Okay, describe what you're doing. What's it called?
Sacking method?
Great. Now just put the saddle on him. We need.
And he's getting worried, and they're making her really upset, and she's yelling, and they're yelling, and now they're trying to rush her to do it faster. I mean, that's gonna go badly. They should have just filmed a little clip of what she was doing. I mean, you're not filming a transformation video. If you were, you would do it over time, not in one day. So Lou's gonna put the saddle on for them. Good. Lovely. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that spooked him. I mean, not the saddle so much, it's just all the yelling is gonna spook him. Of course it spooked him. And I don't know why Lou didn't think of that first. I mean, she doesn't know horses, but she's not that dumb, really. There's a reason Amy didn't want to do it. Lou running like her life depended on it, I'm sure makes a little funny clip to watch over and over again. Not for the commercial, but just to watch. Oh, he's in a big hurry, but I'm glad they got the commercial shot and that's all done and over with, and I'm very curious to see how they edit it and cut it and see how that all goes. Everyone is so upset and so done with it, and Lou is like, oh my god, I'm so happy it turned out great and we got it done. But at least it's done. They should be happy that it's done. They're too busy being upset at Lou for the whole process, though. And she could have been a lot nicer to them about it. I mean, she really didn't make that commercial any more fun for anyone. Well, the commercial got shot. I'm really curious to see how that turns out and what they put in it. I'm a little worried they might put the horse chasing Lou in the commercial, which will be mortifying for her, but maybe like for everyone else, they'll feel a little better about all the work that went into making that commercial for it to at least be funny and, you know, embarrass Lou on TV. But for the most part, everyone else is just pissed at her at this point, and the horse has taken a massive step backwards because they were fighting about the horse in the round pen instead of actually taking the time to train him properly like they should have been because of the whole commercial and Lou interrupting and all that. So yeah, I mean, lots of drama again because no clear communication, not putting the horse first as a family, and not taking care of things when you should take care of them. And then of course the whole Ty thing with Ashley never communicated his parole, so that's really cool. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that. I would imagine he's gonna end up back at Heartland because he needs a sponsor, and Briar Ridge isn't gonna do that. So I think it's that or go back to jail. I don't think he has any other options, honestly, or find another sponsor quickly. But I guess we'll see in the next segment of this episode. If you did miss any of the segments, there is a playlist in the description box down below, so go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you all tomorrow.